Hello friends, and welcome back to our little coffee club. So as you could see, I'm still having the coffee from last week. All right, for you guys was last week, for me was just a minute ago. But I'm getting ready to pull a shot of espresso from the coffee from BigFace. To get more insight as to what's going on in today's brew session. Well, if you missed last week's brew session, check it out. It's a special one. I do promise you that you are gonna hear me having one of the most crazy reactions I've had on one of these videos so far, and I was blown away. And I'm not even gonna get into it, but you gotta see the video from last week. I'm still enjoying this, I gotta say. I'm still enjoying this. I'm not gonna give anything away, but man, wow, I'm still with the wow. This is something about this coffee. Every time you taste it, I just say wow. Is it the DAC? Is it the Good Brothers? Definitely I gotta say these. These have to be the same beans. This flavor is so incredibly unique that it just has to be. Who did a better job though? Yeah, man, I don't know. That's why I've told you guys before that you give the same beans to any experienced, reputable roaster out there, and they're gonna do a great job. They're just gonna do a great job. It's all about the beans. And well, of course, there has to be a certain level of experience in a roaster equipment for roasting that is up to par to give you something of quality. I do agree with that, but they're all gonna do a good job. I mean, let's face it, man. All right, I'm not gonna say too much about this. Watch last week's video, which I just recorded just now. That's why I'm still having the coffee. And now we're gonna do espresso. So I haven't tried this coffee as espresso yet. As I told you guys on last week's video, my best result from this, as far as filtered so far, was what I got from the AeroPress. Whenever I get a coffee that's really hard to extract, and that's what I'm calling this right here, the AeroPress just always gets the flavor out, okay? Because you can grind very fine. You don't have to worry about stalling or anything like that. You can let it steep for 5 minutes if you want, and man, it really pulls the flavor out. Yes, it might not be as clean and as delicate as you might get from other methods of brewing, but I don't care about that. I've told you guys before that mouthfeel and body and things like that on the coffee is not that important to me. I like it either way, but definitely getting the peaks, getting the highs and lows, getting the acidity and the sweetness and a lot of flavor, that's important to me. So drawing that out is my main goal. So let me have a little bit more of this. Now that it's had a chance to cool, I gotta say, I liked it better when it was hotter. It was a little more intense, and I like the intensity in it. Now it's mellowed out somewhat, and yeah, still delicious, but it has mellowed out a little bit. It was a little bit edgier and a little bit more wow factor when it was hotter. Man, that cinnamon roll, I gotta say, but how in the world did they call it cinnamon roll, man? I have no clue. Oh my goodness. Okay, enough of that. Let's just keep going. Let's go ahead and dose out our 18 grams. And this is a very lightly roasted. So where do we start? I do definitely want to get one of those Slayer shots. Let's set the niche 0 at grind size. I'm gonna go at 13.5. Let's go at 13.5 and hope for the best. Again, I want to get like a maybe 25-second, maybe 30-second pre-infusion, depending on how much is dripping, okay? Because you always want to keep that long pre-infusion blooming stage of the shot at around 2.5 bar, and you don't want to get more than maybe 2 grams out. If it starts dripping a lot and stuff, just ramp up to 9 bars and then pull the rest of your shot, whatever timing ends up being, and then adjust from there. And you want to achieve that in maybe if you're doing a Slayer shot, somewhere like 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. Today, I would like to get perhaps 25, maybe even 30 seconds, ramp up to 9 bars for another 25 seconds, 30 seconds. So it'll end up being a shot maybe 50 seconds long to maybe as much as a minute. Again, water temperature's at 95. That's what I'm shooting for. And let's see what happens. Man, that is a very interesting, very delicious coffee. I do have to say, wow, it's so different. Okay, let me make sure that my focus is locked. Start the scale. We're gonna dose out our first 18 grams. Again, if I happen to get a different timing, but the flavor is great, then I'm gonna drink it. I never throw away. When I pull shots, I drink everything you guys see me brew here on the channel. I'm not one of these channels that kind of brews the coffee and maybe drinks it or not. I drink everything you see here unless it's horrible. If it's horrible, then no. But other than that, I make it work. Again, I've said it many times here on the channel. I hate to waste food and coffee, any of these sort of things when there are people in the world that are struggling to maybe can't even afford a high quality coffee. So it just makes me feel bad. So this is my brew session is to make me feel good, okay, and to make you guys feel good. So throwing things away doesn't make me feel good, so I don't do it. Machine timed out. I've been at this now for a little while. That's the top part. I shouldn't have put it away because I'm being pretty confident, right, that I'm gonna pull a good shot with this. Okay, so we're between 18 and 18.1. Let's grind it and see. I'll show you guys hold on. All right, okay, so as I said, we're at 13.5 on the grind size. And I want to show you guys the roast level up here. So let me get the coffee up there. So you could see it is a true medium light. This is fairly lightly roasted coffee. And again, very difficult to extract. So I think a Slayer shot's gonna work perfect for this. We'll see. About the roses, right? Those were the Valentine's Day roses. Okay, let's start it one more time. Okay, let's check, see if we have our 18. All right, exactly what we put in, we got out. So let's do some pod prep. Yeah, that's another reason why I kind of fell behind on my projects, because sometimes when I do Friday videos and I give you guys something extra, then, of course I fall behind on the Sunday stuff. So, and I had done some really long, hour-long videos, movies that, that I make, and some of you guys seem to enjoy. And I kind of fell behind, so I had to make some shorter videos. Man, sad to see you go, buddy. Wow, man, that was great. So I'll get to enjoy the rest of this bag, report back to you guys. I think the DAC one, yeah, I did brew it as espresso. It was great. It was great as espresso also. So we got to try this one as espresso as well. All right, let's do some pod prep. Okay, everything's dry. All right, that's perfect. Let's come in with the WDT. I wonder if I want to turn this one into a cortado today. I don't know, lately it's been all about the cortados, right? Ever since I got those cups from Not Neutral, it's all been all cortados through and through. All right, let me get these things out of the way here. Give you a closer look at the temp. Well, you know what I was thinking today, I remembered maybe we should try again to experiment with the whole Italian style of tamping. If you guys have been watching all the videos, then you know what I'm talking about. But I have a friend that he's Italian and he tamps his coffee just barely, that's it, he's done. You know, so I experimented with that recently, and although we built the right pressure and everything worked the same, didn't make any difference, but we had a little bit tiny channeling. So I was thinking that maybe if you tamp in that way, you're more likely to get channeling, although you build the same pressure, because the pressure has very little to do with how hard you're tamping, but maybe channeling is more likely to happen. So today I remembered, so we're gonna try it again, and we're gonna go with passato. Now, one thing is that to tamp in this fashion, like Italians do, it's gonna be a lot easier to work with this tamper because I can feel all the way around and I could see if I'm level. So it should work better when I'm using passato, that's for sure. Passato! All right, so I barely pressed it, I just flanned it out. We'll see if we get channeling again. Again, I mean, we had some, but it was very tiny. I mean, very little. I couldn't even see it on the video. So, but today I'm brewing on the Akaya, so we're gonna get a really nice, good look from the bottom. And yeah, so. All right, puck screen, lock it in, and then I'll set up the angles. Oh wait, I remembered. Let's run it. You guys, some of you guys seem to think that this step is important. I'm not one of those, but when I remember, I will do it. I'll listen to you guys. What do I know, man? I'm not a doctor. I'm not an engineer. Why are you guys listening to me? All right, here we go. All right, I got all the cameras running. I'm not gonna mess up the bottom shot like I did the other day. I don't know what happened there. Let me make sure this thing's not blocking, okay? Again, I do a pretty good job with this, but every now and then it's blocking the shot timer and you can't see. All right, let's get the Akaya up here. Man, you know, I'm really excited today with this whole, and I was so tired before I started. I talked about that on last week's video, but I was so tired when I was starting, and I was like, man, am I gonna make it through this brew session? But I'm super excited now, especially after that cup of coffee. I feel great. All right, so cortado, well, but I want you guys to see the extraction well, so I'm gonna brew into the little cup. I think I have it there in the middle. Okay, so we are ready. We start at 5 o'clock. And again, I'm hoping for 25 seconds, at least 20, 25 seconds, maybe even as much as 30 seconds pre-infusion, and the same thing at 9 bar. So let's see if we can accomplish that. Now pressure usually starts coming in at around 9 seconds. And then you close the paddle and level it off at around 2.5 bar. Again, ideally you want to start getting a few drips, and there we go. Now, if that reaches like 2 grams, I'm gonna start ramping up. Okay, right there. So I got about 25 seconds of pre-infusion. That's pretty good. So we're gonna go nice and slow to 9 bar. Right there. Now, if it starts to ramp down on its own, usually Puck integrity, I do a pretty good job with the puck prep and it doesn't do that, but I don't worry about that too much. So I went a little over. I got 45.8 grams in 32 seconds from first drip, 46 seconds overall. So, you know, I'm in the ballpark. I did a pretty good job. I totally guessed at the grind size and it worked on my favor. The shot looks beautiful. Let me see if I show it to you guys right here. You see it there. But again, for being such a lightly roasted coffee, this is a pretty shot. It's got this reddish color, it's really nice. All right, let me stop one of the cameras. Okay, turn off the Acaya, put it off to the side. Let me stir it up. Again, with Anna's little spoons, my little golden spoons. Shout out to Anna. All right, so cheers. I hope you guys brewed something tasty to follow along the adventure today. Of course, as espresso, it's a lot more intense, This coffee, as espresso, for those of you that like a lot of brightness, you know, something with, I would call it medium to maybe even somewhat high acidity. Wow, this is a lovely espresso. You would definitely love this. Wow, I like this better as espresso, I have to say. Just the intensity, it's just better. You know, maybe I wonder what happens with an Americano, but if I do that, if I turn it into an Americano, I can no longer do my cortado. You know what, the acidity maybe is a bit too high anyway for a cortado today. We're gonna go with an Americano. Let's do that. Let me get some water out of here. Okay, so now my technique, wow, but you know what? That's a lovely shot of espresso. I would drink it just like that. But let's see what happens when we go turn it into an Americano. So for an Americano, I've been kind of just fill up the glass. When you add all this amount of water that's missing here, usually ends up being about, I think it was, well, you know what? Now I don't recall the ratio. I'm sorry guys, but I had figured this out to where if you want to turn a shot into an Americano, just kind of fill up this little glass and it ends up being enough water to dilute it to the right amount, if that makes sense. Now the only bad part is that, as you could see, the water comes out at boiling, so it's like way too hot. So now I gotta let it cool down just a little bit. Also gonna give it a little stir. Incorporate this really well. All right, let me give it just a little taste. If it's still too hot, then we'll let it cool down a little bit more. Yeah, definitely too hot. Let me stop the cameras, give it a minute or so to cool down here, and then we'll taste it again in a minute. All right, so it's been cooling for another couple minutes. Let's give it another stir. And let's give it another taste. Cheers. All right, you know, I gotta say, this coffee, just because the intensity comes up so much when you make espresso with it, I gotta say it's better as espresso. This Americano, it could be even better than what I got from the AeroPress. This could be the best result that I've gotten from this coffee. Espresso is definitely the way to go with this one. And you know, again, maybe you guys are better at filtered coffee than me, and maybe you use some kind of special technique that brings something out, but I don't know. But what I've done with this coffee so far, I gotta say, I liked it better as espresso, and for sure, the best results I've gotten was from the AeroPress. as far as filtered, okay? So as far as filtered coffee, but espresso's even better. That's lovely. That is lovely. You know, when I first set out to record today, I thought like, man, because again, I was so tired. I thought like, man, do I even want to record? Like I wanted to make the brew session no matter what, but I was like, am I gonna get into recording? I'm so glad that I recorded this. I feel so good about it. Like the words flowed today, everything just worked, and today was just great. Hopefully you guys had a good time here with me. If you didn't see the beginning of this brew session, check out last week's video. Again, I made the pour over on the origami. We ground on the K Plus, and I brewed that Good Brothers cinnamon roll, which I have no clue why they call it cinnamon roll, which are the same beans as the DAC coffee, okay, the milky cake. Although, from what I read on the websites, the processing is different. So check it out. I mean, look, go to the DAC website, look at the way they process those beans, then go to the Good Brothers website, look at the way they process those beans. And although it seems to be the same beans according to Brent, and I believe it because it tastes very, very similar, very similar. But why they call it cinnamon roll, man, I have no clue. I don't know. I'm not getting on board with that. Wow, that's yeah, definitely. This is even better than the AeroPress. So maybe the rest I'll just brew as espresso, because the straight espresso shot was really, really good. And as an Americano, it's really, really good again. So best results of this coffee for sure was the espresso. You know what? Next time I'm in the area, I'm gonna go to BigFace and I'm gonna buy the other beans, the one they brewed for me, which I think I like the flavor profile of those beans even more than this one. I wanna try them. I wanna try them at home. So if they still have them, I imagine maybe some of these blends is like they're staples. You know, you always find them there. I could be wrong, I don't know, but I have a suspicion that that's the case. I'll report back once I'm out there. But yeah, this was, man, spectacular. Wow, very first attempt, right? At the grind size, and just worked. It just, I love it when it works out. You know, last week's brew session, well, last week was the beginning of today. So the one, it's so confusing. The one from before, it didn't work out so well. Things did not go so smoothly. It wasn't bad, but not like today. Today was just perfect. Like, you know, a lot of times, man, I gotta say, I get some really good results. Oh, and what about the tamping, right? We tried the Italian tamping. You saw it builds the same pressure. So tamping hard, tamping soft, it's not gonna make too much difference, guys. Okay, you could see it there. I mean, clearly see it. And today, there's no signs of channeling whatsoever. I'll look at the video, but I do not see any kind of little bit of nothing. So I think we had a very clean extraction, very nice, like we usually do. And maybe tamping like the Italians do, maybe maybe that's, maybe that, didn't they come up with this whole espresso thing? Maybe we should listen to what, maybe we should just listen to what they say. Anyway. Wow, I'm so happy that I recorded this brew session with you guys today. I got a spectacular results. Everything went well. I didn't mess up anything. I didn't stumble. My words, you know, wouldn't come out. It just, everything flowed perfectly. So you know what? I'm gonna let you guys go here. Again, I needed a couple of shorter videos. That's why the last couple of weeks, maybe these videos will end up being somewhere around, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, which is like half of what I usually, but I can't make those hour-long videos all the time. Although I would love to have the pour over and the espresso all at the same time, and recording it all at the same time makes no difference to me. That part is, it's easier to just keep recording. But the problem is when you go edit that, if it's really long, it could easily take me 2 weeks to edit one of those hour, 15-minute videos, you know, because I only have very little bit of time. So I spend a little bit of time here and there, and it takes hours. I mean, think about it. I have so many clips. The thing is over an hour long. I have to watch it back. It takes a whole hour to watch the whole thing back. And then maybe tweak it again until I like the result. And then you guys get the Sunday video. And I've been consistent now for, wow, coming to 3 years now of these videos. We're almost up to up to the 1,000. We are the slowest growing YouTube channel out there. But thank you guys for joining me here. Coming back week after week and having a little fun with me here. I like to keep it, just nice and fun and something easy and light and not something heavy to bog you down when it's first thing in the morning, right? Let's just keep it simple, make some coffee, have a little chit chat and get your day started right. So, that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go here. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun here with me today. We had excellent results. Wow, I think the rest of this coffee definitely is gonna go as espresso. And I'm gonna say it here, 13 and a half. 13 and a half was the grind size because I wanna remember that and I can always look back at the video. Definitely, that's the right grind size for this. It came out perfect. And yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go here. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Please remember to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.